your ruler.
Salt.
Your lands, your possessions, your very lives will gladly be given in tribute to me.
What's up, guys? So, I've been binging the heck out of, well, first I'll explain, I used to watch the Flash TV show, a long time ago when it first came out in, like, 2014. I used to watch it, like, when it came out, I watched the Flash, and then somewhere around season 5, I stopped watching it because I don't know, it's just one of those things where like you just fall out of a show. Season 6 started and then I tried to watch it and then and a couple times I tried to watch it like 3 or 4 times. I tried to watch The Flash season 6 and every single time I would just lose interest. Most of the reason why I stopped watching The Flash was because I just couldn't stand the character Iris West. And yeah, so whenever that was, a long time ago, years ago, I quit watching it. And now it was a couple years ago. I don't know when season 6 aired. All I know is I stopped watching after season 5. But now they're on season like 9 or 10 or something, and the final season is going to be in 2023. That's going to be the final Flash season in 2023. So I said, okay, because it was so long ago that I watched it, let me rewatch it from the beginning. So, but then it occurred to me, wait a minute, all of these shows are like the TV equivalent of what the DC Expanded Universe tried to do in creating their own MCU. To try and do their version of the MCU, they failed in the movie in the movie theaters creating their own MCU, but it already existed on TV. They have all these shows that exist in the same like existence, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me not, okay, so The Flash is what put me on it, and then but then I was like, okay, wait, I can't start with The Flash, I gotta start with Arrow. I never watched Arrow. I watched Smallville. I watched part of Arrow when it first came out. I think I watched like season 1 or something, but then I just never, as soon as The Flash came out, I completely switched over and never touched Arrow ever again. Completely abandoned it. It was like, oh, The Flash, and then Arrow just went completely off my radar. So anyways, so I ended up, instead of watching The Flash, I ended up watching Arrow, because there's 2 seasons of Arrow that take place before The Flash even comes out. And so that is why we're going to review, or this is going to be like my review / breakdown of Arrow seasons 1 through 3. Basically, like, also before I get started, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but before I get started, dang dude, they did a good job having all these shows exist like in like a harmony, like this is better than the MCU. Like all of these characters existing, like kind of like it's corn. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start off with season 1. Season 1, and also I'm a huge Smallville fan, right? So I'm familiar with the Smallville version of Green Arrow, and also huge Justice League and huge Young Justice fan. So the Green Arrow and that. But the Green Arrow and those things are vastly different than this Green Arrow. And this Green Arrow is basically like the TV version of this DC universe, right? The TV, what I meant to say was he's Green Arrow in this is like the Batman of the TV DC universe, right? He is not like your traditional Green Arrow. He's definitely more like an iteration of Batman. Yeah, we'll get into the why of that. The why of that is he's super dark. He's super dark. The other Green Arrow iterations that were more like lighthearted. This Green Arrow is definitely not. You know, he's. Anyways, the season starts. Season 1. Like he got lost on an island for 5 years. Blah blah blah. They go over that a million freaking times. Every episode is like 5 years ago. Blah blah blah. I got lost on an island. 5 years ago, I got lost on an island. And you would think that eventually they would just drop that little part of the intro off and skipped into the previously instead of bashing our heads over the walls constantly saying, "Oh, 5 years ago, I got lost on an island. 5 years ago, I lost on an island." Anyways, the show is really good. I'll say that the season 1 is really good. There's the perfect build up of introduction of characters, and then the build up to the overarching villain and ultimate showdown plot for the end of the season. Gives a little foreshadowing to things coming in the future, and then just really good. It was season 1 was really good. Malcolm Merlin is a great villain, and he kind of disappears in season 2, like he goes away, but he's still there. But then season 2 just continues on being great. Season 2 continues on building up to the perfect climax, and another perfect villain. Deathstroke is a freaking awesome villain. Oh man, I could go on for 30 minutes of Deathstroke and how Deathstroke is underrated because Deadpool gets all the attention. If you don't know Deathstroke, right? Because the mainstream always takes what's popular, and you show them a thing, and the mainstream the mainstream is like, oh, I recognize that. That's the popular thing, right? They don't. If you were to not know who Deathstroke is, and then I showed you a picture of Deathstroke, you'd be, and I say to the person, who is this? Who is this character? They'd be like, oh, that's Deadpool. that's not Deadpool. That's Deathstroke. Deadpool, believe it or not, was created as a parody of Deathstroke. Deathstroke existed first. The only reason Deadpool was even created by Marvel was as a parody / ripoff of Deathstroke. They literally created him as a parody, as an excuse, and they even said at the time when they created, this is a parody of Deathstroke, and that was their excuse of ripping off the character. And then literally their parody character ended up being more popular and breaking into the mainstream of Deathstroke. But anyways, basically and we could break down. Like I said, we could go into this for a long time, like 30. This could be the entire video about Deathstroke and Deadpool, even when this is supposed to be about the first 3 seasons of Arrow. But anyways, I'm gonna keep talking about Deadpool and Deathstroke. Wade Wilson is Deadpool's name, and ripped off from Slade Wilson is Deathstroke's name. Deathstroke's name is Slade Wilson, and then Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson. It's a blatant ripoff. But anyways, basically Deathstroke is a serious character, and Deadpool is a silly character. Deathstroke is a serious mercenary with a serious background, and Deadpool is just a silly version of that. But the thing is, if you want to get into, like, if they were to actually fight, Deathstroke would win, right? Because Deathstroke, not only does Deathstroke heal, he doesn't heal quite as fast. Like Deadpool and Wolverine heal damn near instantaneously, whereas Deathstroke, like, if Deathstroke takes a little bit longer. He still has a rapid healing factor, but it would take him, like, if you were to slice him up and cut him up and shoot him up, he wouldn't heal instantaneously like Wolverine and Deadpool do, but by the next day he would be healed, right? By the next day. But as a counter to that, he has something that Deadpool and Wolverine don't have. He has super strength, and with his super strength comes nigh invulnerability, meaning his healing factor doesn't come into play that often because it's hard to injure him in the first place, because if you shoot him, the bullet doesn't even really break the skin. It breaks the skin, he bleeds a little bit from it, but it doesn't break the you could shoot him in the palm of his hand and it wouldn't puncture. It would bloody up his hand, but it wouldn't go through. You know, he could hold the barrel and it would bloody up his hand, but it wouldn't go through the other side. So, and he has super strength, so he would whoop Deadpool's ass. But anyways, we're getting aside from the point of this, and that's because my brain is silly. The reason haven't made any videos in a while is because my brain's silly. It's not working. So season 2 was really good, and I don't want to go into all the plot details and go over all the plot and ruin the show for you and spoiler, and there's going to be spoilers in this, but at the same time I'm not going to just cover the entire story of each season. It's like, I'm assuming you're going to watch it on your own or have watched it, but I thought season 2 was equally as good as season 1, if not more so, because Deathstroke was so damn good. Malcolm Merlin's good, but Deathstroke it's Deathstroke, dude. Deathstroke almost made it better than season 1, in my opinion. And also, another thing that was really good about season 2 was the perfect foreshadowing. It was amazing watching this in hindsight, knowing the future, right? And you could see all these little Easter eggs that they would put on, like they were doing so much forethought and foreshadowing to plan their TV DC universe. it's crazy that these TV producers manage to put so much thought and effort into planning this intricate universe of all these characters, and then the movie studios fail horribly so bad. Like how is it that these TV people are doing a pretty decent job on a much lower production? Like, I'm sure they don't have nearly the amount of access to funds that the movie studios do, and they're doing a pretty decent job planning out all these things, all these weaving all of these. Okay, this is going to come into play here, and this is going to come into play here. Like, before Barry's character even showed up, Barry Allen, the Flash, before he even showed up, you would see on TVs in the background, they would be talking about Central City, right? Even in season 1, you had characters talking about being from Central City or coming for or visiting or something, and then the news people were talking about the imminent, what is it called? The arc reactor? Not the arc reactor. That's Tony Stark. Quantum accelerator that they were going to launch in Central City. All this foreshadowing going into it, very, very well thought out, like really cool. And then you see Barry Allen visits as a CSI before his accident that gives him before his famous accident that gives him his powers hasn't happened yet. So then that's a treat. And so all this detailed, like, cool stuff. And then also, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I've done a really poor job at structure. My thoughts are just a jumbled mess. So this is all out of order. This is all out of order, and I apologize. I don't think taking notes would make this any better, because it would just be equally out of order. So it is what it is. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. So anyways, the season 3, I don't want to get ahead of myself into what in the season 3. There was stuff I wanted to comment on, but I haven't finished talking about season 2. Season 2 was really good. It built up foreshadowing the spin-off series of The Flash, and then ends. So everything is really strong at this point, and season 3 starts, and it's still good. I mean, they're running off the momentum of this is kind of what happens with shows, is like they get the momentum of season 1. Like if it's a strong season 1, like for example Heroes season 1 was awesome, right? Then you get bonded to these characters, and then you're kind of running on the momentum of being already attached to these characters, and then so you just go from there, because you've already like you're immersed in the universe that they've created for you. You're immersed in this world. This is kind of how it is with all shows. Like, they build the world, they attach you to the world. Now you're in the world, and so now it's less like, I would say, I don't know, work. I'm sure it's still work. I'm sure it's still work, but subsequent seasons from then on, I'm sure, is easier to put together than when you're starting from scratch. So, and then in season 3, I don't want to hate on it, because at this point, I'm sure there was something going on behind the scenes where some of the production team and some of the production people and the writers and stuff were also working on The Flash at the same time. So now they got these two shows existing in the same universe, and the Flash is demanding a lot of energy of like literally like all the CGI and production values that goes into that. But there was a definite writing drop off in season. I haven't finished season 3 of Arrow yet. I'm like 75% in, but dang, dude, there's I'm maybe I glossed over any major problems of season 1 and 2 of Arrow, but season 3 has so many problems. It just made me go, what? Like what? Like I'm still enjoying it. But first of all, I want to say, before I get into criticisms, it is really freaking cool how they visit each other. How like Arrow will go visit the Flash in Central City, and then also Barry will come visit Oliver. That's really cool. Another thing, hold on, my screensaver activated and screwing up the screen. Another thing that's really this is all like a universe that they're building of all these characters, everything that exists in the DC universe, multiple superheroes that also exist together in the DC universe, and multiple DC universe cities, and it's like, I don't know, it's just freaking really cool. The problem though, and one of the biggest problems of The Flash, and why I originally stopped watching The Flash years ago, was these, as always, writers with their woke agendas felt the need to force this terrible character on us called Iris West. She's really bad, really insufferably bad, and that could be a whole nother video, but screw it, we're making this video, so this is going to be part of this video. That could be a whole nother separate video, and this is going to be long-winded. Iris West is the Flash's adoptive sister and eventual girlfriend slash eventual wife slash eventual mother of his children. But the way they wrote her in the show is literally the most insufferable piece of garbage person. Just even people that are not red pill hate her. She's just terrible. She's just freaking terrible. And I was when this show came out, when The Flash came out, right? I was much more like, I was super blue pill in 2014, and even then I was like, what the fuck, this bitch sucks. Like, all sorts of stuff she would say and do, and that were just like red alert, red flag, like saying all sorts of stuff, like these are the 3 people. Like as soon as she met Oliver Queen, we're not talking about Arrow right now, by the way, if you're confused. We're talking about The Flash, right? But on the crossover episode where Green Arrow came to visit the Flash in Central City, as soon as she met Oliver Queen, who's the billionaire who is Green Arrow, she's like, he's one of the people I'm allowed to cheat on my boyfriend with. What? Fuck you. Like it was just and it's the way she said it too wasn't even like something he agreed to. It was like something that she set for herself, that he's one of the people I will allow myself. Like, you suck, you're a terrible person. And then there's a whole bunch of other reasons we could go on forever and ever and ever. And literally, she's the reason I quit the show, because the list is so long of the problems with her. through every season, it's just ridiculous. Like in the first 3 seasons, in the first one season, you could make a list. A list just from the first season. You could just make a huge list. Another thing from the first season is she had zero interest in Barry until she found out he was the Flash. She literally he confessed his feelings to her. She completely shut him down and said that she only has platonic feelings for him, and she likes him like a brother. Completely shut him down and crushed him when she didn't know he was the Flash. Completely crushed him. Then she sabotages him, right? When he's finally moving on with somebody else, she sabotages him on purpose. And then when she finally does find out he's the Flash, then all of a sudden she's interested, because the entire season she's obsessed with the Flash, right? Not knowing that it's him. It's like there's so much like in season 1, and that's just the 3. That's just there's so I could pull out so many. And another problem is there's this other girl who's in all the seasons, a scientist that Barry works with, and she is so sweet and so like just traditionally feminine. Like they got so much chemistry that it's such a shame that Barry and her never get together, because they want to force this awful other chick on us who is literally a terrible human being. I mean, this other chick is so freaking perfect for Barry, but they never go anywhere with it because I don't know why. I don't know. It's crazy, dude. Because Caitlin Snow is so freaking perfect for Barry, and they never even acknowledge it. But anyways, back to Arrow. The reason I covered how bad Iris West is in the Flash is because there is also a girl in Arrow who kind of sucks. Not nearly as bad as Iris West sucks. Not nearly as bad. Iris West takes the cake, but this girl, a fraction of that, kind of sucks. And her name is Laurel, right? Fortunately, in Arrow, there's also see, here's basically what happened. In Arrow, there's this sweet girly chick who he should end up with, who they do have him end up with. They do the right thing and have him, but there was some fans who got mad that that wasn't the character that in the comics he's supposed to end up with, right? Because for whatever reason, they wrote the character that he's supposed to end up with in the comics as sucky, not nearly as sucky as Iris West. So he doesn't end up with her. He ends up with the sweet feminine chick who he should end up with, but she doesn't have the right name. Oh no, she doesn't have the right name because it's not the same character. Anyways, I'm probably confusing the heck out of anyone watching this that's not familiar with what I'm talking about. But yeah, Laurel sucks. It was just poor writing. If you wanted him to end up with the girl who was the correct character with the correct name from the comics, you should have wrote her better. You should have made the chemistry better, right? Instead of making her insufferable and sucky, right? That is the failing of the writers, and then they force it anyways because we're like, sorry, that's what we have planned, and that's what we have to force it. We have to force it. Luckily, they were smart and they had him go with the character that he actually had more chemistry with, which is what they should have done in The Flash and let him be with Caitlin Snow. But in the Flash, they had to make up for. They're like, well, nope, we have to have him be with Iris West because that's who he marries in the comics. But again, the writers failed at making her character at all likable. Caitlin Snow is awesome, by the way. Caitlin Snow is better than even. Yeah, she's awesome. I like her. Freaking adorable, dude, and she's hot. So the Arrow, the character that sucks in the Arrow is Laurel. That's where she's kind of where the problems of season 3 start early on, and this season 1 and 2 was so good, and in season 3, right off the bat, you're like, wait a minute, how is Laurel out there holding her own? And one of the characters even says it. It's like, it's always funny when a show addresses how stupid what's happening is, and it's like, okay, the writers know you're fucking up, and then you're making a joke off of it. That one of the characters says, hey, your sister had training from the League of Assassins for years. She trained with the League of Assassins for years, and that's another reason why the Green Arrow in this TV DC universe is a lot like Batman, is because he's so heavily connected with the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul. He's kind of like Ra's al Ghul's favorite, where in the DC universe, the actual DC universe, Bruce Wayne is Ra's al Ghul's favorite. But Batman instead of Oliver Queen, Green Arrow. But anyways, so there's this one character, right? And she trained with the League of Assassins for like 7 years, and that's why she's able to go out and fight crime, because she has the actual skills and training to do so. And then she dies, and then her sister, with no training, and she's just a girly girl with a law degree, decides, oh, I'm gonna take some boxing classes and then go out at night and try and hold my own against people who have trained most of their lives with the best killers in the entire world. It was just so, I was like, the show's jumping the shark, and they even kind of acknowledged how silly it is that she's, with so little training out there, doing any amount of holding her own. She should have. She fails a little bit. She should have failed way harder. She should have failed so hard that she like never was able to go out again. I'm not saying they should have killed her off or like crippled her or anything, but it's just ridiculous that how much they allow her to hold her own. The writers were fucking up so hard. The writers were fucking up with the fact that Oliver and these other people had a decade of hardcore training, and then there was another chick that also was in a similar type of problem as Laurel. Is like, these chicks with no training are whooping, literally no training, are whooping the baddest assassins in the entire world. And it's like, are you kidding me right now? That was bad. And then there was another character who was supposed to be a regular human. They didn't even say he was a metahuman. Took a bullet to the head, and it just fell off. Like, he took a bullet to the head and it just bounced off. And they just said, oh, he's tough. He's not a metahuman. He doesn't have superpowers. He's a regular human. He's just tough. And then another problem was Oliver Queen gets stabbed through the lung, right? Not just through the lung, but through his entire chest. All the way through with a sword. He gets stabbed all the way through his chest. His lung should have been completely punctured, and then he falls off a cliff for hundreds of feet, alright, and then lays there for like a day, freezing like a popsicle, and then so he should have died from the fall. Aside from getting completely impaled and having a lung that should be completely stabbed, and dying from the fall alone. The fall alone should have killed him, and all that. But somehow he's found and then dragged, and then penicillin T and a will to live somehow. It's like, oh my gosh, I get it that they're probably, short staffed because they're also working on the Flash right now, and maybe the writers are getting their heads jumbled with what's believed with like metahumans and regular humans, maybe they're getting their heads jumbled. I don't know. Maybe they're just idiots. Maybe they were so dead set on making the Flash really good that they took all the good writers off of Arrow and then left the idiots at Arrow. But yeah, I don't know. But so far, Arrow season 3 has been filled with what the fuck? What the fuck are you thinking? This is bad. Still enjoyable because of the momentum of the universe and the characters that they've created, but that can only last so long. You can only run on fumes of the goodness that they've created. But anyways, there's more to look forward to because there's so many other tie-ins and characters to come. I will say one really good thing about Arrow season 3 is Ray Palmer is awesome. Ray Palmer, the Atom, played by Brandon Routh, is awesome. And knowing that he also eventually plays Superman in this same TV universe is really cool too. It's like, not only are you playing one character in this universe, but you're also revisiting a character that you played previously in this universe, because this universe basically says, okay, the movie universes exist somewhere in this universe. Every single other show, dude, freaking Smallville exists somewhere in this universe. It's all interconnected. Smallville's connected to Arrowverse. Christopher Reeve Superman's connected to Arrowverse. Titans is connected to Arrowverse. The freaking current Zack Snyder movies are connected to Arrowverse. There's even one I haven't gotten there yet because this all happened after I quit watching years ago. But there's even one episode where the movie Flash, the crazy guy, what's his name, Ezra Miller, shows they literally meet. His Flash meets the TV Grant Gustin Flash. The movie Flash meets the TV Flash, and it's all interconnected. It's crazy, but it really sucks too because I really wanted Flashpoint, but that dude is facing 26 years to life in prison for all the stuff that he was up to, and Hollywood was protecting him for so long. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so I haven't Arrow season 3, noticeable decrease in quality. I shouldn't say quality. It's still got plenty of action and CGI and stuff, but the Atom so far is the highlight of season 3. Laurel is the sucky part of season 3. But apparently they kill her off. So, looking forward to that. Too bad they never did that with Iris West. Oh man. If they would do that with Iris West, I would have never stopped watching the show in the first place. Oh. Then they hide behind the race card too, because she's they race swapped her for the show, right? In the comics. It's so funny, like, oh, we can't have him not be with Iris West because Iris West is who he was with in the comics. Except for the fact that in the comics, Iris West wasn't black. She was also ginger, like he is, right? Or not he's not ginger, but she is, right? Right? So we race swapped her from ginger to black, and now if you don't like her in the show, that's because you're racist. And then they did the same thing to her nephew, her her brother. I can't remember how that. Yeah, I can't remember. Is it her brother or her nephew? But Wally West, who becomes Kid Flash, is also race swapped, and Wally West was literally the only mainline popular ginger superhero. Now there may be other ginger superheroes, but none as famous and none as mainstream and mainline and iconic and popular as Wally West the Flash. So race swapping him is a complete slap in the face. It's literally the equivalent of taking one of the few already black characters, not race swapped black characters, but like already black characters like Luke Cage or Shaft or Black Panther, and then making him white. Literally the equivalent. Because I'm a fucking huge nerd, dude, when it comes to this shit. And I can not name any major iconic popular ginger superheroes outside of Wally West. Wally West is the only ginger main character superhero. Now I'm sure there's others, right? I'm sure there's others. If you want to like dig deep and grasp the straws, like you could say, oh, well, Jean Grey in X-Men is ginger, but is that really mainline? Is that like really like iconic? Is that really iconic with the greats like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman? Yeah, it's not. It's not. I mean, I really can't think of any other. Oh, Firestorm is ginger? Oh, you mean when he's flamed on? Yeah, if you want to say having flaming hair is ginger, okay. Oh, Human Torch is ginger? Oh, you mean when he's on fire? He's not though, because when he's not on fire, he's blonde. But yeah, the Wally West the Flash is literally the only mainline iconic ginger superhero, and they said no, you're not gonna be ginger anymore. You're gonna be black. But anyways, they did that in the comics, but that's not why Iris West sucks in the show. Iris West, the actress they got playing her, is very pretty actually. And the reason she sucks so much is because I'm assuming the writers, I'm assuming she doesn't suck this much. I'm assuming the actress that plays her doesn't suck this much. But the way she so gleefully delivers her shitty character's lines, maybe she sucks in real life too. I don't know. You would think she would say, "Hey writers, can you make my character suck less? Can you make my character suck less?" But so far from the research that I've done, it seems like every time this has been brought up, what a problem her character is, the race car is played. So I'm assuming she would have like some vested interest in seeing her character not be hated by everyone. But anyways, I'm gonna end this video here, and I think I've gone on long enough with this. What a chaotic, scrambled, jumbled mess of a video. But this is why I stopped making videos for a hot minute, because I've been having a hard time. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and please like and subscribe and all that, and peace out, guys. Oh, it's still recording, see? Dude, the screensaver keeps kicking on, and I can't enter the commands while the screensaver is going. Anyways, I do apologize though that this video wasn't more organized. I'll try to take notes better in the future, but I don't know how much it's gonna help. I just do want to apologize how all over the place this video was. I just have a really hard time staying organized without letting crippling OCD come into, like, I don't know how to schedule and plan my day without being taken over by crippling OCD. And so I just end up not planning it, and so it is what it is. But again, I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I didn't want to share that, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna edit this 47-minute long video. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that. I appreciate you guys for making it this far. Peace out. Catch you in the next video.